Welcome to Full Moon Rising Yoga. Today's practice will start in easy pose. And let's start by looking over our right shoulder and back to center. And now gazing over your left shoulder and back to center. And one more time, looking over your right shoulder, back to center, and your left shoulder, back to center. Lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. And right now we're just moving our neck. We're keeping our spine nice and straight, our sits bone on the mat. Back to center, and lower your left ear towards your left shoulder. Back to center, and one more time on the right. Back to center and the left. Now gaze up towards the ceiling. And then bringing your chin towards your chest. And back to center. Inhaling, bringing both arms up overhead. And as we lower our arms, we're going to look over our right shoulder. Keeping our hips squared to the front of our mat where we're sitting. Our sits bone are on the mat. Inhale, bring both arms up overhead. And now lowering and looking over the left shoulder. Inhaling, both arms up overhead. And one more time on each side. Exhale, gazing over your right shoulder. Inhaling, both arms up overhead. Exhaling, lowering your arms, gazing over your left shoulder. Bring both arms up overhead. Exhaling, both arms back to your side. Let's take our shoulders and round them back, both at the same time, up and round back. When you're bringing your shoulders towards the back, think about bringing your shoulder blades as if you're trying to get them to touch. You really want to open up the chest here, open up the heart chakra. And on your next one, when we're rolled back, bringing our shoulder blades together, let's pause here for a moment. Your hands can just be on your thighs. And relax. Let's move into table. And we're going to do a couple cat and cow to warm up our back. So go ahead and inhale into cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Do a couple more of these at your own pace. We'll meet back in table. We're going to move into threading the needle. So we're going to put our weight in our left hand, keeping our shoulder over our left wrist. We're going to take our right arm and we're going to raise it up, gazing up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to sweep that right arm in between your arm and your left arm and your left leg. You're going to bring your hips back And you're going to lower your shoulder down towards the mat, placing your right temple on the mat. You can also use a block here to give you a little bit more space. Pushing into your left hand, let's take that right arm out, raise it back up, gazing upward, and then placing it back on the mat into table. And we'll do the same on the other side. Putting your weight into your right hand, taking your left hand, raising it up, gazing upward, keeping your hips squared to the mat. Then take that left arm, sweep it in between your right arm and your right leg, pushing your hips back until you lower onto your block or your left shoulder, placing your left temple on a block or on the mat, keeping your hips parallel to the floor, nice and squared. Pushing into the mat with your right hand, raising that left arm, pulling it out, lifting it up, gazing upward, and then place it back down into table. Let's tuck your toes under, shift your weight back towards your heels, step your hands forward, and lower your heart towards the mat. You can place your forehead on the mat or on a block. And our toes are tucked under because we're also stretching our toes here as well. And our shoulders. And let's raise back up, pushing your hips forward, bringing your palms back into table. Lift your knees up over the mat, hovering your knees just a couple inches off of the mat. And while you're here, engage your core. Then go ahead and slowly straighten your knees, raise your hips towards the ceiling, moving into downward facing dog, and you can step your hands out a little further. Shift your weight a little bit into your left foot, raising your right leg up, bend your right knee, flex your right foot, and just stack your hips, keeping your shoulders squared, and then lowering your left heel towards the mat. Straighten your right leg and bring it back down to the mat. And we'll do the same on the other side. Putting your weight into your right foot, lift your left leg up, bend your knee, flex your left foot, stack your hips, and then lower your right heel towards the mat, keeping your shoulders squared. Straighten your left leg, bringing it down to the mat. Go ahead, step or hop to the front of your mat. And do a forward fold. Halfway lift, nice flat back. Forward fold. And then rise, sweeping both arms up overhead, gazing upward. And then lowering both arms on your exhale to your side. Recenter here at the front of our mat and take a moment to reconnect with your breath. Let's sweep our arms up overhead, hinging into a forward fold. Halfway lift, Forward fold, placing both hands on the mat, stepping back with your left foot, dropping your left knee to the mat, tuck your left foot under, rising up with your chest, roll your shoulders back. Bring both hands back to the mat, tuck your left toe under, and bring your right leg back to plank. Step your left foot forward, lower your right knee, tuck your right foot under, and rise up, sweeping your hands back, opening your chest, bringing your shoulder blades together. Bring your hands back to the mat, tuck your right toes under, step back into plank. Drop your right knee to the mat, put your left foot so it's flat on the mat, and raise your left arm towards the ceiling and gaze towards your left hand. Bring your left hand back to the mat and back, step back into plank. And we'll do the same on the other side. Drop your left knee to the mat, then rotate your right foot so it's flat on the mat, raising your right arm straight up towards the ceiling and then gazing towards your right hand. Lowering your right hand back to the mat, stepping back into plank, and then pushing back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and drop the knees to the mat and sit back into child's pose, extended child's pose, where your arms are straight out in front of you, placing your forehead on the mat. If you need to separate your knees for more space, go ahead and do that. And let's come back to downward facing dog. And step or hop to the front of your mat. Forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold, and sweeping both arms up overhead. Exhaling both arms back to your side. And go ahead and recenter and reconnect with your breath. Sweep both arms up overhead, moving into forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold, stepping back with your left foot, dropping your knee, tucking your toe, sweeping your arms back again. And now bring your hands to your chest in prayer position. And then you're going to take your right elbow, you're going to hinge, so that way your right shoulder is moving towards your right inner thigh. And you want your prayer to remain in the center of your chest. What's helpful is actually pushing your hands together. Gaze up over your left shoulder. Let's bring both hands to the floor, stepping back into plank. Step forward with your left foot, drop your right knee, tuck your right toe, rise up, sweeping your arms back. Bring your hands to prayer position, and we'll do the same on the other side. Keeping your prayer in the center of your chest, and then gaze over your right shoulder. Place both hands on the floor. Step back into plank. Drop your right knee, bringing your left arm up. Arm is straight, gazing over your left hand. Now go ahead and place the back of your palm on the center of your back, or if it's close to your hip, and rotate that shoulder back and gaze over your left shoulder. Go ahead and straighten your left arm up, bring it back down to the mat, and step back into plank. Lower your left knee, swivel your right foot so it's flat on the mat, and then raise your straight right arm towards the ceiling, gazing over your right hand. Bend your right elbow so the back of your palm is resting either on your hip or the center of your back. Rotate that right shoulder back by pressing into your lower back with the back of your palm, gazing over your right shoulder. Straighten your right arm, and then windmill it down and step back into plank. Drop your knees, bring your hips back towards your heels, keeping your arms straight, and move into child's pose. Raising out of child's pose, we're going to come back to table. Let's do 2 more rounds of cat-cow. And we'll meet back in center. And we're going to come to a seated position down on the mat. We're going to straighten both legs, sitting up nice and tall, flexing your feet. Shoulders are back. And just engaging your legs while your feet are flexed. Let's go ahead then point our toes and then flex. Point. And flex. And point. And flex. And go ahead and relax your legs. Shake them out a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and lower down to our mat. You can bend your knees, putting your arms out towards your side. Your arms are nice and straight. Lowering one vertebrae at a time, engaging your core. When you come down to the mat, straighten both legs. Bring your right knee towards your chest. Flex your right foot and your left foot, and you're just pulling your right knee towards you. Straighten your right leg. Now bring your left knee towards your chest, keeping both feet flexed. Straightening both legs. Bring both knees up to a 90-degree angle. You're going to bring your arms out to the side, and you're going to slowly lower both knees towards your right side. If you want to put a block underneath your knees, you can. And once you're lowered, go ahead and gaze over your left shoulder. Bring your left knee back to center, and then your right slowly to meet it. And slowly bring your knees towards your left side, gazing over your right shoulder. Bring in your right leg towards center, and then your left to meet it. Drop your right foot to the floor, taking your left foot, placing it on your right knee. We're going to move into reclined pigeon. You can clasp your hands behind your right leg. Keep both feet flexed. And release. Lower your right foot to the floor and then your left. Put your right heel on your left knee, opening up your hip into that figure four. Then raise your left leg off the ground, clasping your hands behind your left thigh, flexing both feet. And release your hands, slowly lower your left foot and then your right foot. Keeping both knees bent, bring your heels as close as you can towards your glutes. Place the palms of your hands on your mat so you can push into your mat with your hands. And you're going to raise your pelvis, your hips towards the ceiling, pushing up into bridge. Keeping your legs together. You can always put a block in between your knees here as well. And then slowly lower. And we'll do that one more time. Your heels are as close as you can to your glutes. Your palms are on the mat. And you're going to raise your hips towards the ceiling, keeping your legs together, engaging your core, keeping your shoulders on the mat. You're bringing your chest towards your chin. And slowly lower. Straighten both legs out. Bring both arms up overhead. Full body stretch. And go ahead and find your comfortable savasana corpse pose. Soften your jaw, soften your eyebrows. Just let your feet relax open. You can have your palms facing the ceiling. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, roll over to one side. Pushing into the mat, bringing yourself back up to easy seated position. And slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.